Fernando Alonso aimed a dig at an AlphaTauri star at the Canadian Grand Prix. AlphaTauri hit back at Fernando Alonso after the double world champion took a dig at one of the team's drivers at the Canadian Grand Prix. Alonso claimed Yuki Tsunoda was blind just minutes into the third practice session in Montreal. It came after the Japanese star was involved in a series of incidents as wet conditions caused carnage. Alonso said, "Who is the blind guy in the AlphaTauri?" His race engineer quickly replied, "That's Tsunoda who's blind, Tsunoda." The comments came as a slow Tsunoda briefly held up Alonso before the Spaniard could pass. But AlphaTauri reacted to Alonso's comments in a social media post as Tsunoda temporarily topped the leaderboards in FP3. They wrote, "The blind guy is currently P1. Tsunoda struggled with the damp conditions with two incidents in the opening 15 minutes of the session." Just 10 minutes into FP3, Tsunoda lost control of his car at turn 3. The 23-year-old managed to keep his car out of the barrier and pirouetted back in a straight line. However, he was involved in a second incident just moments later as he spun around at turn 2. Alonso looked on the pace early on in FP3 as he battled the treacherous conditions. He eventually set a time third quickest, but his best run was a staggering 1.3 seconds slower than Max Verstappen. Ferrari's Charles Leclerc was just over a second ahead in what could be a concern for the squad with wet conditions predicted for qualifying. On Friday, Alonso was just 0.3 slower than Lewis Hamilton, who set the pace in FP2. After the second practice session on Friday, the Spaniard had predicted that it could be a close battle for the front row. He explained, "I think it's so tight that 1 or 2 tenths will put you in a completely different spot on the classification. So don't bring too much attention on the times. We went through all the programs that we had before practice, which is a good thing, learning about the tires. The track is slower maybe than what we predicted, so there's still more time to find more tweaks on the setup, but it was a productive Friday. It was an incident-packed FP3 session as drivers battled the slippery conditions." Carlos Sainz lost control of his Ferrari at turn 1, smashing into the barriers and ripping his front end. Lewis Hamilton and George Russell also had moments off the track as they tested the limits ahead of qualifying.